The goddess has your back. I'm going to tell you a story of my path to healing and standing in my own creative power, and how the book I've taken 7 years to write can inspire other women and girls. You see, my life has been a dance of denial, discovery, and ultimately devotion to my own medicine, my creativity. And I'd really love to ask you a question. Do you have an inner voice? Maybe it's a quiet whisper, a constant nagging one, maybe a frustrated scream. You may already be listening to it, excited by it, welcoming it, or maybe you're hiding from it, avoiding it, frightened of it. Today, I want to speak directly to that voice. I want to see if together we can ignite the courage required for you to truly listen to that voice. Your heart, the goddess. You see, I call my name, my voice, the goddess, but your voice might have a different name. So I'm Jo Stevenson, an artist and writer who creates safe space and representation for women and girls to connect to their creativity and divinity through Kundalini yoga, coaching, meditation, and healing. In a previous life, I was a successful marketing and events manager in the city. But really, I was also a professional denier of my true self. Because those 2 decades spent in a fast-paced, high-pressured corporate career were really a clever way for me to avoid the whisper and ignore my big creative dreams. You see, on the outside, it looked like I had the perfect life. But inside, I was disconnected and full of doubt. I felt trapped and powerless to change. It took becoming a mum for me to instinctively know I had to show my 2 beautiful dual heritage daughters how to really love themselves, how to cultivate their gifts, and how to follow their hearts in a society that wants to tell them different. It had to begin with me. At the height of my career, my insanity heightened to match. I felt I had to be more, do more, work smarter, try harder. And even though every part of me longed to rest, I kept applying the pressure to do and be it all anyway. That voice was so dead to me, I didn't even know it existed. So as often happens, it had to take drastic measures to be heard. Burnout and breakdown followed and brought me to a full stop. It was in this dark place that I met an angel in disguise. I think she recognized the pain within me. I didn't realize she was also struggling. Have you ever met someone out of the blue, like a kindred spirit, who changes the trajectory of your life? Well, this is what it was like when I met this woman, Colette. It was as if this force of love just swooped in, picked me up like a chess piece and put me in exactly the right place. And this whole new dimension opened up to me. She was the mum of my daughter's best friend. And as she extended her hand of friendship, she introduced me to Kundalini yoga, to my greatest teachers, to a sisterhood that saved my life. And my creativity awakened like a sleeping snake. It was in a Kundalini yoga class during meditation that I received a vision. I saw a woman. She had beautiful wings and she was slain. I had no idea who she was, but I knew exactly how she felt. It was only later with the help of Google that I realized she was a goddess. The goddess had appeared in my life for a reason, and I made a promise with her that I would tell her story, my story, your story. A story of how living in the light means we have to face our shadow, our fears. A story of how sensitivity, self-love, and sisterhood is the keys to real strength. A story about healing ourselves and how that can ultimately help to heal our world. But really, the story began a long time ago. When I was a young girl, when I struggled to fit in, and when my sensitivity felt like a curse in this cruel world. So during a difficult time at home with my parents' divorce and at school being bullied by older girls, I attempted the ultimate escape route and I took an overdose. Back then, I didn't have the support or the tools that I needed to be able to fully heal. But when my eldest daughter came to me and told me that she was being bullied, I knew I had to do something to support her, to heal, to prevent history from repeating itself. And that is what motivated me to write the book. The Goddess Has Your Back is the book I wish I'd had when I was growing up. It's the first story in a children's fantasy series called Soul Star Sisters. It's a book about girls who connect to their inner voice, the goddess, through an online game and activate their power. It's a story about celebrating ourselves, honoring our emotions, and also raising the vibration of the planet. It's also a story that's not afraid to embrace the shadow and explore some dark topics. It's our mother's story. It's our daughter's story. It's a story to heal ancestral trauma. It's the story of the feminine. It's also a story that almost wasn't told. I just finished writing the first draft of the book when Colette jumped from a building, took her own life, and grew real wings. The pain and disbelief that she'd gone shook me and our community to the core. It was only over time that I was able to transmute this trauma through my creativity. And I find it no coincidence that unintentionally, my book will be birthed into the world on the 7th day of the 7th month, the exact day that Colette took her life 7 years ago. It can be hard, even for adults, to believe in themselves. But when we do, miracles can happen. If you can only find the courage to stop, to be, to connect, to trust, to share your gifts, to allow yourself to be seen, and to most importantly, listen to that voice. So how about you? Have you ever heard that voice? Perhaps a whisper? Maybe a feeling? What do you dream of? Is the goddess calling you? Are you brave enough to stop, pause, listen? For if you do, I'm sure that you will see in the most magical way how the goddess has your back. Thank you.